this is about how mostly recently I've noticed how people just live in autopilot, and it feels like there's not many people that are actually living. Like most of them are just coping and just, I don't want to say surviving, but it feels like they don't have a clear direction which they want to pursue, and they're just moving with the flow and just getting what life gets them, and that's basically it. No more self-created issues that most likely don't exist. No extra emotions, just the plain emotions that life without a plan, at least for myself, gives. And what led to this thinking and this question I want to answer is that lately I've been feeling like if I live without any bigger project or even just a bigger purpose, it sometimes feels like I'm not really living. Like, I'm not saying it feels like wasting my time, but I find myself questioning about what is life about and what should ideally life be about. Because I don't clearly feel like I found my purpose in life, but I feel like I'm getting there, and most likely I understood that there's never gonna be an answer to what's my purpose in this life. Since, or maybe there is, but it's not a fixed thing as I think of it. Mainly because we are not fixed as individuals. Like, we're not an entity, a single entity that does not evolve and just stays the same. We're not a static thing in the universe. Even just our thoughts and our character, way of thinking and way of acting changes through our lives, and that is how it's meant to be. And it's really a beautiful thing. It's awesome. But this means basically that you cannot have a single purpose in life. Or maybe you can. Maybe you found your purpose for yourself in this moment. But with all the probabilities, that purpose is gonna change in the next, I don't know, 5-10 years, maybe 20. And this eventually is probably gonna lead to, I was about gonna say, thinking that the years prior to that, in which you worked towards something that for you in this current state is not that meaningful anymore, felt like a waste of time. But I realized that it's probably just not it, since you basically evolve based on the previous outcomes, and that inevitably means that you are the version of yourself you are right now because of the things that happened to you previously. And this is just the bias that you get into your thinking and into your life in general. But I don't know, I feel like life can be much broader sometimes, can be more rich in terms of how you live, how you feel, the kind of emotions you get. Because I kind of relate a lot to a simple life and a plain life, to not an absence of emotions, but because you just cannot have no emotions at all. But basically, the emotions that you have in that given moment are just plain. They're not as powerful, as strong. And when I, for the first time, understood that for me, life is about, at least at this time, it is about feeling powerful emotions. When I understood that it wouldn't even be a great thing to have only good emotions, because it would just become a plain line. If this is our emotions and feelings, it just gets plain. It's high, but it's plain. So it's kind of the same, if not even worse, than the starting point where you just feel few emotions, not that powerful, and you're just flatlining there. If you're flatlining there or there or there, it's pretty much the same, because you're flatlining. And you need, at least for me, spikes that go both up and down. And it kind of balances itself in the long run. But at that given moment, I feel like you're living life at its most, at its peak. Like, how would a life without complete despair and sadness be? And also, how would a life without complete happiness and all those positive and negative feelings mixed together? It means like you're not living that deeply. You're just surviving. So I want to try to, and maybe it can help you to find those things that give you spikes, both positive and negative. But some of them you just can't know prior to doing them if they're gonna be positive or negative spikes. So it's gonna be about really get out of the comfort zone. It's the same thing over and over again. But if you're by definition in your comfort zone, you're just flatlining. you're good because you're good. You're in your comfort zone. But you're flatlining there. If you go out of your comfort zone, there's gonna be spikes there, spikes there. So that's probably it. Of course, the initial part is gonna be the hardest, but after understanding this deeply, I feel like it's gonna be much easier to get into.